Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome back into another week of Astros Recap. It is Sunday, September 22nd, 10:31 p.m. as the Astros have wrapped up another week in the regular season, getting very, very close to the end here. So I got tonight to talk to you, and of course next Sunday night I'll basically do the season wrap up and then get you set for some postseason baseball. So things getting very exciting here. The Astros did clinch the division today, so that is officially wrapped up. I assume they're going to continue to try to win games. I mean, you're always doing that, but you know they're still going for the best record in all of baseball, which they do currently have. Of course, the Yankees have played one more game, and that one more game is an extra loss. So we're a half game up on them. I believe we're a full two games up on the LA Dodgers, which is only relevant if they get to the World Series. So big celebration today with today's game, winning the division, third straight year, more than 100 games, kind of a cool thing. It's not the goal, so you just, you celebrate it for what it's worth, but when teams go to the playoffs, with the expectations we have, especially after the trade deadline, celebrate it, but it's time to move on and get back to work, basically. So, they had a good week, so they had the two off days, the Monday, Thursday, kind of weird, 2-game set in between there. So they beat the Rangers both days there, and I think they were pretty close games as I pull up my app like I do every week. Let's see here. So they win 4-1 and 3-2, so both pretty competitive games, but it's good to finish off the Rangers. In fact, we were 9-0 at home, I believe, so we swept them at home, which is kind of weird because last year we basically swept them in Arlington, or we had some long winning streak to finish out the year, at Globe Life Park. So we kind of just flipped the script. 13-6 season series record against the Rangers. Last 2 years was 12-7 in our favor. So we've kind of, I'm never going to get over the whole rebuilding years and how bad the Rangers just whooped up on us for a number of consecutive years. It bothers me. But at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is a World Series, and all I can tell you is we have one and the Rangers have none. So, and hopefully we'll have another one here in about a month. But we won't go that far deep into it at this point. So anyway, they win both those games. Osuna did close out both those games. A lot of good things to talk about this week. I mean, we wanted to wrap up the division on Saturday, and we lost, so that was really the only bad part of the week. But Osuna, had been shaky, looks like he's starting to get his act together. He's been a lot better of late, I feel like. He's got like 35 or 6 saves now, so that's a pretty good number. Usually 40 is that mark where you're considered a pretty legit closer. Of course, it seems like we don't play in a lot of close games. I mean, we do here and there, but we've blown a lot of teams out. So the whole save stat's overrated anyway. So I don't really pay a whole lot of attention. He has blown 6, which is, I mean, if you're saving 40 games and you're blowing 6, that's not necessarily bad. But I mean, Osuna's the guy. He's a ride or die guy. I've mentioned numerous times this year. But Verlander got the win there on Tuesday. She gave up, let's see here, box score. No runs, struck out 8, walked 2 in 6 innings. Rondon gave up a run. Yeah. Harris got through a scoreless 8th, and Osuna closed it out in the 9th. And then on Wednesday, we win that one 3-2. That was a Garrett Cole start who went 8. He went 8 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, struck out 10, walked a batter, got to his 300th strikeout in the season. So he's got a chance to break. I think J.R. Richard has the all-time single-season strikeout record with 313, if I'm not mistaken. So He gets 2 more starts, I think. Yeah, sounds right. So, yeah, I would fully expect Garrett Cole to get there if he makes both his starts. He's like at 301 ish, but he needs 12 strikeouts, and considering he averages, it seems like 14 strikeouts a game. Of course, I don't expect him to be worked deep into ball games. Don't overwork these guys, especially when you've wrapped up your division. But I do fully expect him to get there if he makes both of his scheduled starts this coming week. But anyway, and then Osuna closed it out once again. He did walk a batter, but struck out a guy, gave up a hit. There was a ground ball double play to actually close that game out, but got the job done. So that's what's most important. Off day Thursday, of course. Friday they win 6-4. Saturday was the tough one. They lose it 8-4. Very concerning. Wade Miley. So Wade Miley, who pitched in Sunday's game against Kansas City the prior week, so a week ago today, was okay. Just to go back to that real quick, that game, I usually don't go back, but I wanted to actually curious on the line. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, which were earned. So that was sort of getting back on track from his 2 starts where he was just absolutely atrocious. And then the Saturday start wasn't very good either. I mean, he pitched an inning, I think? Yeah, he pitched 1 inning, and he gave up 4 earned runs. So, I mean, I don't even know what to make of Miley at this point. In fact, he's, I don't know. ERA is all the way to 3.91. I mean, Urquidy after that for 3 innings, pretty solid. Well, gave up an earned run. Brian Abreu got through 2, giving up an earned run of his own. And, yeah, good old Rondon gave up his 2-run home run that really put the game out of reach in the 8th inning. So, yeah, I'm not too happy with Rondon. I never have been. I know he had a pretty reasonable stretch there for about a month-ish. And then, yeah, he's never going to consistently give you good innings out of the bullpen. He just scares the you-know-what out of me. But anyway, getting the win today was big. So 13-5. Osuna did end the game, but, Springer hit 3 home runs. Bregman had a home run. Springer, by the way, has got 38 home runs. Bregman's got 39, so those are pretty big numbers. But the whole home run stat this year is it's not comparable to prior years just because of the whole, everybody hits home runs now. So the big home run thing isn't huge to me anymore. In fact, Bregman is actually making a good case for MVP. Mike Trout, who wins that or could win it every year, basically has. He is on the IL for the rest of the year. So if Bregman has a big final week, he could, he could win it. So, it probably won't happen. I don't like how Trout wins it, even though the Angels are in dead last every year. That's just a joke. I feel like the MVP should come from a team that at least is competitive. And, Trout just has never done that. So he's basically playing under no pressure. He is the best player, and it's not like if he got traded to a contending team, his numbers would drop or anything. I just think that it's kind of a joke that he gets it every year, and the Angels don't even sniff the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm going to vote for Bregman. You already have the Cy Young and the runner-up when it's Verlander and Cole there. You'll have Rookie of the Year with, Yordan Alvarez. So, but we're not here for personal awards. We're here for a World Series. So that's why I talk about the division, wrapping it up. It's nice and everything, and, the 100 wins is cool. But anything short of a World Series win is going to be a pretty big disappointment, especially after everything we did at the deadline to get Greinke. The whole Aaron Sanchez, Joe Biagini thing has been kind of a mess. Aside from Aaron Sanchez is a little combined no-hitter, Biagini's been a complete mess in the bullpen. In fact, he won't make the playoff roster. I'll say that right now. And Aaron Sanchez is out for the year. So I think I mentioned that last week. But anyway, so they go 4-1 this week. The record's at 102-58. By the way, before I actually go on, the fan's blowing in the background, so sometimes you hear it, sometimes you don't. So if you hear a noise in the background, it almost sounds like I'm driving a car or I'm riding down the street in a car or something. I don't know. But if you hear that noise, it gets hot here in my studio. So some days it's hot, some days it's not. So I turn on the fan if it's hot, and tonight it is. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. What I was saying, so I talked about, the Sanchez and the Biagini thing. Greinke trading your 3, 4, and 5 ranked prospects. Farm system took a hit, so Greinke's been okay, not great. Give maybe a B minus. He's been a little better, I guess, of late, but he still gave up 4 runs in Friday's game, I believe. We won it 6-4, putting up 5 in the first. He really just had to coast, but he gave up 4 runs. I don't know with Greinke. Right now you really can't justify using Miley in a playoff game just because he's been terrible, unless you have an extremely short leash, I should say. But the short leash, really, what are you going to do? Let him face 2 hitters? Because he gives up all of his runs in the first inning, it seems like. So, but I'd be more inclined to use your Urquidy in a 4th game of a division series rather than, Miley right now. Or just piece things together in the bullpen. So Miley is really the only concern when it comes to, players. And we're fully healthy now. So, you got Correa back on Tuesday. They're sort of easing him back in because he didn't have the full rehab time because the season was ending. He played in 1 game. So he's sort of finishing his rehab, and they'll finally have him in the lineup every day here coming out this last week, which is good. He needs some time. You get to pray and hope and cross your fingers he doesn't get hurt. So that's the plan for Correa. And then Presley's back, so which is surprising to me because, when he first had the surgery, the estimated time was, from what I had heard and what I was thinking was, very end of the regular season at best, but most likely end of the first round of playoffs. But he's back, and it's good we got him back because, same story with Correa. It's good to get him some game action before the playoffs actually start up. So I'm sure AJ will get him in a few more games. So, those are the 2 main people when it came to the injuries. But you also kind of an unsung hero, a guy that I think could really help us like he did in 2017. Brad Peacock is also back. And Josh James was even before those 3. So the health, we're there. We got everybody that we need, that we expect to have here. So keeping them healthy this final week hopefully isn't an issue. But I like where we stand. The starting after Verlander Cole, there'll be some uneasy. I won't feel too great about throwing Greinke out there at this point, and certainly not Wade Miley. It'll be interesting. And the Astros are concerned about Miley because I read that today. So we'll wait and see. I still like our chances better than anybody else. And if we can just, Yankees do play Tampa Bay for 3. And Tampa Bay right now is tied with Cleveland for the second wild card. So they're going to be the Yankees, of course, are going to try to win. But Tampa Bay, they're fighting for their playoff lives. So that'll be a tough series. And then they play the Rangers, they're the Rangers. So, and for us, we just have 2 with Seattle and then 4 with LA, all of which are on the road here. So, a long West Coast sort of week. Yeah, you got 4 straight 9 o'clock games, Tuesday through Friday, 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So, yeah. But anyway, so trying to think if there's really anything else to add. That's really all I got for you. Trying to think. Next week I'll sort of wrap up the playoff picture when I have the National League's basically settled. So you got the Dodgers, you got the Braves, and you got the Cardinals winning their respective divisions. And then wild card's going to look like Washington and Milwaukee. And I think they're actually tied for that wild card. So when it comes to home field advantage, that's in the air. Milwaukee's surprised me because after you losing Christian Yelich for the rest of the year, looked like they were going to have a tailspin. But actually, it's the Cubs, who I don't care for anyway. But they've lost 6 in a row, so they've fallen 4 games, I think, out of that second wild card, so they won't be there. So the National League is wrapped up in terms of playoff teams. So the Dodgers are going to play the winner of the wild card game, and the Braves are going to play the Cardinals. I think the Braves are the best competition to beat LA that ends up getting to that point. But so that's what it looks like there. And then for us, the Yankees, of course, win their division. We win ours. The Twins win theirs. And then you have Oakland, who I believe has a 2-game lead, first wild card spot. And then it's tied, like I said earlier, with Tampa Bay and Cleveland. So if we end up having the best record, I almost would rather face. So Oakland I'm going to pencil them in as winning the first wild card. But when it comes to the second one, if we do have the best record in the American League, I would rather Cleveland sneak in there, which I guess they're not really sneaking in. They're just going to make it. But I would rather them make it and then them beat Oakland at the Coliseum there. And I'd rather play Cleveland over Oakland just because for some reason we have issues against Tampa Bay. We just do. And Oakland, although don't really scare me, they have won 6 of the last 8 meetings between us, so with the Astros. So, even though I would fully expect to beat them with the way our team is fully healthy, they wouldn't scare me. But they would be going into the series probably with some confidence knowing that they had beat us. In fact, now that I say this, I actually want to play Oakland in the first round just so we can beat them and shut them up because they probably feel pretty good about themselves. But Oakland's always been sort of a team I've respected, and it's kind of amazing to me. Part of the reason I respect them is because they're just one of those teams that, really doesn't have a lot of superstar players, but for some reason they always find themselves right there at the end. So, but I kind of want to play them just to prove something, I guess. And if history tells us anything, they've been playoff failures for the last 30, 40 years, whatever it's been. They haven't won a World Series since the 70s, I believe. So there's that. But I think that sounds right. But, yeah, so, I mean, either them or Cleveland would be my picks to play. I don't want any part of Tampa Bay. I don't know why. I just don't. No teams are going to scare me. That's just my prediction. That's who I would rather play. And I'll wrap all that up because it'll all be confirmed next week. I'll get into sort of game times. We have this off day Monday, and then it's sort of we'll be taking 3 days off because they reserve Monday for any tiebreakers. Tuesday, Wednesday will be the 2 wildcard games, and then the division series starts Thursday, or Friday. So we'll have 3-4 days off going into the week after the regular season wraps up. So anyway, not much more to think about. Our hitters are doing great. Chirino's, he's still struggling with that high fastball. Reddick has been kind of a joke. It'd be interesting. I also, next week when I talk to you, I want to sort of wrap up my prediction of the 25-man roster when it comes to people that will make it, people that won't. So I'll sort of construct a list of 25 people. They usually will go. You can change your 25-man in between series if and when you advance, but they usually go short a pitcher in a 5-game series, and they'll add a pitcher and go short a position player. So I'll keep that in mind when I construct the list, but that's all next week. So, like I said, I've pretty much wrapped up everything I can talk about. If I left anything out, please leave the comments below and let me know what I forgot. Or if you just want to, send a shout out if you think I missed anything, I'd love to hear from you. So don't forget to, smash that like button. As Keegan would say, smash that like button. Just push it, click it, whatever you do with the like button there on YouTube, and share this with your friends. Do all that good stuff on YouTube. Again, I'd love to hear from you guys. Haven't gotten a lot of comments this far into it, so kind of disappointing. Got to find a way to get these podcasts out to the world a little bit more, but do all that good stuff. If you are listening, please listen to my upcoming podcasts. Got one more, and then it'll be playoff edition. So anyway, I'll wrap things up there. Coming up on 20 minutes, so we'll see you in a week, and we'll be very excited. So if there's no enthusiasm in my voice right now, I should have it next week, and especially if things are going well in the playoffs. But yes, we'll wrap things up there, and we'll talk to you in a week.